What's up, y'all? In this video, I wanted to share some tips on how you can learn songs more quickly. It's not uncommon for working and performing musicians to have to turn around music really fast, meaning there's not much time between when they receive the music and when they actually have to go play it, whether that be for a gig or a studio session, whatever the case may be. So being able to learn songs quickly is a valuable skill to have. Okay, so tip number one is to memorize the form of the song. You can do this without even having your instrument. You can just listen to the music and identify each section. Is there an intro? Is there a verse, chorus? Whatever the sections of the song are, go ahead and identify them and lock that structure in. This will give you a roadmap of how the song plays out and an understanding of how the song flows, which will make learning the song so much easier and faster. Now, this leads to tip number two, which is to break the song up into sections and work on it in bite-sized chunks. So rather than be overwhelmed by the whole song, like, oh my goodness, I have to pack all this information into my brain, you break it up into sections and work on it piece by piece. Maybe that means you start at the intro, then you move to the verse. Or if there's a challenging part of the song that comes later, maybe you go ahead and jump into that more challenging section and work that out first. Then you go back to the top and add the other pieces around it. There's no wrong way to do this. Even if you need to break it up into 1 or 2 bar sections, really small units, and work those out, then add it bar by bar. Whatever works for you in terms of retaining the information and actually being able to play it is the most important thing. Tip number 3 is to work on the song in spaced increments. So when I'm trying to memorize something, I find it really beneficial to work on it for a little bit, then get away from it, work on it for a little bit, get away from it, and keep doing this. And it really helps the retention of that information. Having that break for your mind to just get off of it and then come back is really helpful. And I think it makes the recall happen a lot quicker for me personally. So working on the song in spaced increments is really helpful. The more times you can do this, the more easy it is to lock that information into your mind. Tip number 4 is to make yourself some type of a chart or some type of written reference or notes while you are learning the song. There's no science behind this, and you don't have to be able to read and write music to do this. It can literally be any type of chart or any type of notes that work for you to help you retain the information. As long as you can understand it, that's the most important thing. Now, you can physically write this out. You can use sheet music paper. You can use regular notebook paper. You can use your tablet, your phone. It doesn't matter, whatever works for you. But just the act of documenting something is really beneficial because it helps you to get that information out and give you a point of reference and study as you are working on it. And tip number 5 is to just approach learning the music with a problem-solving mentality. So it's easy to get overwhelmed and stressed out when you're learning music, especially if there's some sort of a deadline involved. But if you approach it like a problem solver and solve individual smaller problems, that will help you to put the entire larger problem together. And it's like solving a puzzle at that point, which is essentially what you're doing. You're putting these smaller pieces of things together, which ultimately make a whole cohesive unit. But just being patient with yourself and working on it and being diligent and approaching it from the perspective of I am solving a problem, as opposed to, oh my goodness, I have to get this song ready and I'm so stressed and it's so hard. Your mindset is so important to learning music effectively. So I just encourage you to consider your mindset as you are learning, because that's one of the most important things to retaining information. All right, well, that's it for this video. I hope you got something out of this. If so, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And also, if you have tips or things that have worked for you when it comes to learning songs, drop those in the comments as well. I would love to see that, and I'm sure others could benefit from your experience as well. Until next time, I hope y'all are doing great, and I will see you on the next video.